Hey viewers, this is Random Stuff with Alex Hughes, and today's video is going to be about taking initiative. And so, something I realized over the years where I lived and the house I live is about this idea of initiative. And that's when you kind of do things that other people don't do, or you kind of take the lead and you put your foot forward and like I'm gonna take this on. Maybe it hasn't been a focus for other folks, but I'm gonna step forward and I'm gonna do something about it. And so this can be good because there's no doubt that people do tend to forget about things and kind of put it at the back of their minds, especially if it's not a priority. But there's always something to be done every single day. When you wake up, you can make that choice to just watch TV or watch YouTube or scroll through Facebook, Instagram, and just be on the internet the whole day. Or you can take initiative and do something with your life. And that's the cool thing, is when we wake up, we have a brand new day, and there's quite a lot of time too. We sleep usually into the night, so we have about maybe 10, 12 hours to do something, and you can fit a lot of things in 1 hour if you work efficiently. And what I learned is to not BS things, especially when you're just working on anything. You got to kind of put in your effort. If you just scribble it off and throw it away, is that really going to manifest in something that you want, or is it just going to be like you half bleeped it? So the cool thing is about really thinking about what you can do each day. And by taking initiative, you really start to think about maybe some of the things that have always been on the back of your mind, or that kind of other people maybe in the house that you live in, uh, don't realize. And you take the lead on that. And by taking the lead, I think you really can change the way things function and change your reality as you may have known it for most of your life. And so maybe that reality is something you grew used to. However, that doesn't always mean it's positive in some way. But by changing something for the better, um, it will change the future. It'll affect your life in some way. Maybe it make it more easier, more efficient, more cleaner, better functioning by taking that initiative. Um, what I saw definitely was before was through community service, and that's where I took a lot of initiative. Not everybody's a trash picker. There's a lot of garbage out there, and a lot of people don't take that initiative to go to cleanup or grab their own picker. And that could be because they're busy. That could be because maybe it's kind of embarrassing, when you first start off, picking up trash. It seems like a very low job, but the reality is you can make a whole world of difference by doing that, by taking that step forward and picking up the trash. You make the city look cleaner. You know put those motivational vibes out there, and you help the environment. And so, another way you can take initiative is through, building your own community organization. Um, find something that people haven't stepped forward on, because a lot of things people have done, save the oceans, endangered species, and, the poor folks and whatnot. But what is an issue that has been ignored, that people haven't really shown the spotlight, and or what are some issues that seem I guess controversial, especially where you live, and you step forward with that. And that's what I've realized, is that by doing that, you definitely get some, not always positive attention, but you put your foot out there and you kind of put it in the spotlight, put it in the attention of the public. And so, what I've seen also in my school life, when I go to college, especially with I would say, yeah, with the clubs I've done, I manage their social media, and so sometimes the social media hasn't been updated in a very long time, or isn't updated consistently, or there's errors in spelling, in sentence structure, or things could be improved. And so the fact is, if someone doesn't do it, who is? Who's gonna do it? You know, because people like to say they're busy, but who's gonna step forward and who's gonna take it to the next level? You know, if someone like myself, if I have the time and I have the energy and I have that motivation and drive to uh, improve something and to make it better and to um, put something a better product out there, I think that's important for me to do. Especially if it's for the benefit of others as well. So, like with the Facebook page, I found ways to enhance the way it looked, improve its visual appeal, and to post more consistently and more relevant content. And that is what really brought up, the image of the Facebook page as well as who it reached. And so I could take this to my um, personal development life in the sense that I wasn't taking initiative for my own health and for my own well-being, whether that be what I ate or whether that be how I was thinking or reacting to my anxiety. And so that's why I finally took that initiative. I stepped forward because who else is going to do it for me? It's my own well-being, so I have to step forward and do something about it, or it's going to just be the cycle. Like I talked about a long time ago, is the amygdala. I had that picture up there for a long time about the almond. It's telling you it's that cycle of fear, and I still have that thing I wrote a couple years ago, about the cycle. How things continue if you don't do something about it. So whether that be the cycle of trash, people are going to keep littering, and it's but it's missing something actually in that cycle. But who's going to pick it up? It's just actually what happens is, it just keeps building. The garbage keeps building and building because people keep littering. Nobody picks it up, and so what happens is you have a huge garbage problem on your hand. But if nobody picks it up, nobody goes out there to do something about it, it's going to become a bigger and bigger problem. Just like with my anxiety, where I wasn't taking the steps I needed to work on my anxiety. So those fears about germs, fears about what people say, fears, I gotta check this, there's something bad's gonna happen, fears of public speaking, fears of going to school, embarrassing myself, fears of, other people, bullying and whatnot. All that stuff was building and building and building till it got to the cracking point. And I think there was two main points where I had I guess like a mental breakdown basically. And one was when I would say, about fifth to sixth grade, and one was about 11th to 12th grade in the middle. And because the anxiety, all that negative energy was building and building and building, and I never really addressed it properly. I just fed it with, compulsions, and I fed it with reassurance. I wasn't doing anything about it, so you know, it's like a tea kettle. It's gonna boil over at some point. And so that's what happened. And I didn't take that initiative to do anything about it. And so last I could apply it to at home. If nobody um, if nobody takes that initiative to work on, like, let's say you have a whole bunch of overgrown plants in your yard, or just plants. And if the plants keep growing and growing and growing until they're huge, and nobody does a thing about it, that's not good for the plants. Certainly isn't good for the people, and so nobody does anything about it, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So the reality is we have to be mindful of our environment. Maybe it's within ourselves and within, out there in the world, and we have to think to ourselves like, there's a lot of things people don't take initiative on because we just do the same thing, over and over again. And so we have to be like, how can we incorporate something new into our lives to take initiative and change the reality out there in our lives for the better? So, it's random stuff. Alex, signing off.